Hi friends. So uh, as you know that Pakistan's Prime Minister Mr. Imran Khan has given a speech in the United Nations about India and India's stance in Kashmir, and in that speech he has narrated that Indian Muslims will be supporting Pakistan in case of a war between India and Pakistan, and they will raise arms against India, the Indian Muslims. So I want to point out that there is a inherent flaw in this concept which Pakistan holds, and I must say that Pakistan is the only country that holds this flawed concept, and it's spreading hatred in India between the Muslims and the Hindus, and is trying to divide the Muslims of India and the Hindus of India. And thus because it knows that any country, if you want to win that country, you have to make the country hollow from the inside. So what is that inherent flaw? So the question is, what is that inherent flaw that Pakistan holds? So the flaw is that Pakistan believes that because majority of its population follows Islam is a religion, and the majority of its population follows a particular religion, that is Islam. So the people who are following Islam all over the world, irrespective of the country to which they belong, should support Pakistan because it is an Islamic nation. And according to the concept of Islamic nation, all the people who follow Islam should come together as a concept of brotherhood. But it is a flawed concept. Why it is a flawed concept? Because the Indian Muslims, and I must say the Pakistanis who are now Muslims, we are all brothers. We had our genealogy from the Indus Valley civilization. We are brothers. The Indian Muslims are brothers of the Indian Hindus, and the Pakistani Muslims are also brothers of the Indian Hindus. But as it has developed into a separate state, then leaving that case aside, the Indian Muslims are brothers of the Indian Hindus. Okay, so what Pakistan is saying is that if in a house there are four brothers and two of them have decided to follow a different religion, that is Islam, and there is a neighboring house in which all the people follow Islam. So Pakistan is suggesting that in the house, that is India, whose two brothers are following Islam, they must support the neighboring house whose all the members are following Islam, and they should raise arms against their own brothers, among which they eat, among which they sleep, among which they celebrate their religions, among which they go to work, and etc. etc. So this concept of Pakistan is a flawed concept because it expects two brothers to fight over nothing, because they don't have problem with each other. The problem is Pakistan versus India, not Indian Muslims versus Indian Hindus. It is trying to project its problems as India's problem and trying to divide India. Okay, so it is a very flawed concept, and this concept must be nipped in the bud as soon as possible, because it will lead to the divisive politics in the international order. Till now, we were having division politics in domestic region itself. Now it is going into the international order, and it is a very, very devastating thing if you think. Okay, so Pakistan should stop spreading hatred and should stop spreading this type of politics among the people, and Indians stand united. Each and every Indian are our brothers and are our sisters. So they should stop dividing us on the basis of religion just to get their own motives sorted out. They want to use them. One thing must be clear. One thing should be clear in the minds of every person who is listening this video, that Pakistan is trying nothing else just to try to get its goal achieved by using, I repeat the word, using Indian Muslims and the Muslims everywhere, because it doesn't have any true love for the Muslims, as can be seen what they did with the Bangladeshi Muslims. They were Muslims. What they did with them, the mass genocide, the mass rapes that they did in Bangladesh. If they had their love with the Muslim community, they shouldn't have done that, but they did, because it was in their national interest. In the national interest of a country, nothing comes first. Nothing. And I repeat, nothing. So we shouldn't hear about the Pakistani views, because they are flawed. They think about their national interest only, and they are trying to divide India on the religion basis. Thanks. Bye.